It's already done. If you go with me to the book of Hebrews, and we're going to take a look at chapter 4 and 3. Hebrews chapter 4 and 3 says, "For we which have believed do enter into rest, as he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world." Now, the writer to the Hebrew saints was saying that everything that God was going to do for you and everything God is going to do for us has already been done from the foundation of the world. It was finished. It had not materialized because we did not exist. But before you get to your situation and your needs, God has already done the work. From the foundation of the world, it is already finished. What you're going to eat, where you're going to live, and the things that people are doing, providing food and so forth, they did not have you in mind. But God had you in mind to be in a place where you could get what you need. People that built the house that you're living in right now, some people the people that built that did not have you in mind. The apartment, they did not have you in mind. The car you're driving, they did not have you in mind. But God had you on his mind from the foundation of the world. Where you would live, where you would get your food from, the car you would drive, the clothes you would wear. From the foundation of the world, it was already finished. And so it is that you go through this life, God will continue to do that. So, why do we get anxious about something that's already done? See, God calls things that are not as though they were. So it's just a matter of God causing these things to materialize. But as far as he's concerned, it's done. Everything is history with God before it ever happens. It's not history with us, but it's history with God because God is going to do it and nothing can stop him. History for us is after the fact, but it's not with God. It's before the fact because he made a promise and God keeps all his promises. And nothing in this world can stop God from doing that. Nothing in this world can stop God from causing things that is in his mind, that is in his will to materialize. All the devils in hell cannot stop it. So, it's already taken care of. And we need to understand that God will make everything beautiful in his time. But we have to wait. You can't make God do anything before his time. Matter of fact, we can't make God do anything at all. We just have to wait on God. In the book of Genesis 17 and 5, now God called Abram before he was Abraham. He was called Abram. When God called him out of his country, from among his kindred, and God began to call him Abraham after he was going to be the father of many nations. Now, but verse 5 says, neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. Look at the statement that God said. He said, have I made thee. Now, Abraham did not even have a son, but God was speaking in the future. God speaks in the future where there is nothing. Abraham had nothing as far as an offspring, but God still spoke to him to say that I have made thee. Why? Because God can call things that are not. And that's what he did with Abraham. He called Abraham a father of many nations, and he did not even have a child. So God is well able to do what he says. He just wants us to believe him and to take him at his word. We need to stop thinking so much. It is a waste of time. And David said, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. When I think about how God takes care of, or how I take care of the sheep, then I see God as my shepherd. And if I take care of these sheep and make sure they have the grass they need, the water they need, the protection they need, then I know God will take care of me. And so that's why he referred to God as his shepherd, because God would provide for him as he was providing for his sheep. And so he says, I shall not want. I shall not need. I will not go hungry. I will not go naked. I will not go thirsty, because God will supply my need. As Paul said, my God shall supply all of your need according to his riches in glory. So God has it all under control. When Abraham was going and taking his son to sacrifice his son on Mount Moriah, and he gets there close, and his son wants to know about, Dad, I know we're going to do a sacrifice, but we don't have everything. And so in Genesis 22, starting at verse 6, it says, and Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they both of them, and went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, my father. And he said, here am I, my son. And he said, behold the fire. Now I see the fire and the wood. I see the fire and I see the wood. But where is the lamb for a burnt offering? I don't see the lamb. But he did not understand that God had spoken to Abraham and told him to offer up Isaac as a sacrifice. But of course, God has never accepted human sacrifices. It was just a test for Abraham. And Abraham said, my son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. And so they went both of them together. And then when we go down a little further and look in verse 13, and it says that Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket. And so God will provide for us and for you. He is our Jehovah Jireh. God will provide. He will make a way for you. So don't think so much. Have faith and trust in God. Jesus said, take no thought for the things of tomorrow, for tomorrow will take thought for the things of itself. So, God gives you grace for today. So, He's not giving you grace for tomorrow. He gives you grace for today. He provides for us one day at a time. Give us this day our daily bread. God will give you what you need on a daily basis. So stop thinking so much and allow anxiety to grip your heart. May God bless you. Alfonso Coble at sbcglobal.net